DJ and rapper Paul Michael Slayton was born March 11, 1981, in Georgetown, Texas. He became Paul Wall in his youth when a friend of his started calling him that, and it stuck. He also took on an additional nickname that was a little more powerful, the People's Champ. Growing up, I always had a happy spirit because I was happy to be outside of my reality. So anytime I would meet people, I was happy to get any type of love or have a friend, and that's how I got the People's Champ mentality and moniker. Paul grew up as a bullied kid with a drug-addicted father that left the family when Paul was around the age of 5 or 6. That move very well may have been a great blessing for Paul, since in 2022, he would reveal the shocking truth about his father during a podcast interview. Paul found out later in life that his father was an alleged serial child molester. He says he was unaware of everything that was going on with his father due to his age. So when he got older, he decided to ask his mother about him, and that's when he made the stunning discovery. He ended up kidnapping a girl. He started a relationship with her when she was 12 or 13 years old. Then, when she became 14 or 15, he married her, and they went to Canada, and that's the last time I seen him. When Paul was around 11 or 12, he began coming up with songs talking about how cold he was on the mic. Later in his teens, he'd start doing promotions and focused on the marketing aspect of the music industry. He then took everything he learned from promoting other artists and began promoting himself. One of those promotions jobs would change Paul's life forever when he ended up on a mixtape by Michael 5000 Watts, along with fellow rapper Chamillionaire. The freestyle became so popular on the local rap scene that both rappers became regular staples on Houston's mixtape circuit. Michael also happened to be the founder of his own record label and hip-hop collective called Swishahouse, and decided to make both artists permanent members. Over time, Paul would become recognized as an accomplished and proficient mixtape and party DJ, identified for producing projects in the now well-known chopped and screwed style, invented by DJ Screw. Eventually, Paul and his rhyming partner Chamillionaire left Swishahouse and started their own group known as the Color Changing Clique with 4 other rappers. They dropped over a dozen mixtapes with each release, leading to more business opportunities, the most notable of which was a contract to do a full album for Paid in Full Records. The group lasted for about 4 years before Paul decided it was time to move on. He would drop his debut solo album titled Chick Magnet in early 2004. It went largely unnoticed and didn't produce any hits. Then, Paul headed back to Swishahouse to appear as a featured artist on a track by a brand new rapper on their roster. That track turned out to be the platinum hit Still Tippin' by Mike Jones.
What it do is power wow, I'm the people's champ. My chain light up like a lamp, cause now I'm back with the camp.
It was Paul's first taste of commercial success, but as he was trying to enjoy it, some personal drama reared its ugly head. In November 2004, Paul and his entourage allegedly attacked Chamillionaire's younger brother, Razak, who was also a member of the Color Changing Clique, at a nightclub. Chamillionaire later revealed that even though he wasn't cool with Paul at the time any longer, when they would run into each other before the incident, he would still wish Paul luck in his career and never imagine anything like the club brawl would happen. He later released a diss track with his brother aimed at Paul called Go Ahead. Paul released his second album, The People's Champ, in 2005. It debuted at number 1 on the albums chart. 4 singles in total were released, with Girl being the most successful, making it into the top 20 on the Billboard Hot 100. Over the last nearly 2 decades, Paul has released dozens of solo studio albums, collaboration albums, and mixtapes. In the midst of all that, he also became a member of another hip-hop group called Expensive Taste, with friends Travis Barker from rock band Blink-182 and Skinhead Rob from rap rock group The Transplants. On the personal front, Paul married his wife Crystal in 2005, and they went on to have 2 children. In a 2015 interview with Vlad TV, Paul was asked if he'd encountered a lot of racism and negativity from people as a white man married to a black woman. Interesting enough, he said that it's in places people would deem more progressive that he's been given the most side eyes about his relationship. I think in Texas there's definitely some racism there, but me personally, I feel the greatest amount of racism when I travel with my wife to the East Coast, or when I travel with my wife to certain other areas. It's way worse than it is in Texas. Places where traditionally you wouldn't look or think of them as racist. We're always going to pick at our differences, but New York, where traditionally it's a melting pot, that's where I've always seen the greatest amount of dirty looks when I'm with my wife. People shaking their head or making little comments. Couples making little jokes and saying this and that. But it is what it is. Some things never change. In 2010, a photo of a newly svelte Paul Wall hit the World Wide Web, shocking everyone. He later disclosed that he'd went on an extreme diet and had gastric sleeve surgery, resulting in an over 100-pound weight loss. The motivation to do it, he says, came after getting a call from the VH1 reality show Celebrity Fit Club. It was the wake-up call he needed. He opted not to do the show and instead take matters into his own hands to improve his health. Also at this time, he ended his beef with Chamillionaire and they went out on tour together. When asked about the elephant in the room by Complex magazine in 2020, Paul said, "It never crossed my mind that I was a white guy rapping. I was best friends with Chamillionaire, and whatever he did, I did. If he rapped, I rapped. It was something we did for fun at the track meets or basketball games, or get in these freestyle ciphers with other schools, me and Cam rapping together. I mean, of course I knew I was white, but I never thought of it like this is something I shouldn't be doing. Because even though white rappers were out, I wasn't following them. I followed the footsteps of Scarface, Willie D, Bushwick Bill, Big Pokey, Lil Keke, Fat Pat, Big Mo, and Slim Thug. Those are the people who I was following behind, not the white rappers who came before me. No disrespect intended, I just didn't follow that lane. I followed this one."